Hi there. Today we're here to talk to a patient's mom of ours who wanted to speak specifically about their experience with brain core therapy and their child who had suffered with anxiety. So I'll turn it over to you.
Okay.
What made you bring your daughter here?
Well, it started back in sixth grade.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter was not feeling well, stomach cramps, um, uh, bad enough where we took her to the emergency room.
Okay.
She was about 11 or 12 at the time, and they did a lot of invasive procedures, and it scared her. So from that point on, it seemed that she became anxious very slowly. I noticed asking questions and worrying, am I going to throw up? Am I going to be sick? And it was a lot of questions. We took her to a therapist, but fast forward to 8th grade.
And I'm assuming they didn't find anything wrong, quote unquote.
No,
wrong.
they didn't find anything medically wrong with
Okay.
her. And in 8th grade, it kind of manifested itself where one day she was like, I can't go to school. She was laying in bed, very, very anxious. And what I did was I called a therapist right away, called a psychiatrist right away, got her in. So at this point, she wasn't going to school for a couple of days. Got her in, worked with a therapist 3 times a week.
Okay.
Took her, she put her on, the psychiatrist put her on medication.
Okay.
And all this stuff works very slowly. So it was a slow go, but we finally got her after a couple of months to get back into school. And she was doing well. But still there was something there. She was anxious about certain things, and those things, when you're anxious, it has like a ripple effect on everything. Your family, your social life, things you want to do and you're afraid to do them.
Right.
Because of the anxiety and the fear of even leaving your house because you're afraid you're not going to feel well. You're afraid that you're out of your comfort zone. So I happened to go to a party, and my friend's friend had suggested brain core. She had suggested it for about a year, but I was doing a bunch of other stuff with Megan, so I said, let me kind of finish this out. And then what I started to see was that she was better, but there was kind of something missing. She wasn't completely free of her anxiety. Now, I don't think anybody's completely free, but I needed her at 16, 17, she's in 11th grade now, to start making decisions for her life, relationships, college, going away to college, being afraid to go away to college. So I didn't want these fears to make decisions for her.
Right.
And that was my main goal at this age with her.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I brought her here, and we started probably in September. Probably after about the 6th visit, we saw some improvement, and the improvement was calmer, happier, more confident.
Excellent.
And she even noticed it, you know. The things that made her fearful were not making her anxious anymore. She noticed them, and then they just didn't get her to the level where she was anxious.
Right.
So I happened to ask Megan yesterday, what would you say? You know, I'm going tomorrow to do a testimony. What would you say was your best experience here? And she said she loved coming here. The people are so pleasant.
Aw, that's so nice.
She was very comfortable. Anybody who has a child or a teenager, Megan's a teenager, but a young child too, the therapy is extremely easy for them. They enjoy it. I never had a problem bringing her here.
There's no.
She
There's no pulling her.
enjoyed coming here.
Good. That's so helpful.
She used to say she'd come back, that you'd put a blanket on her, and she'd just be so happy.
That's great.
because she knew, she could see that what she said is her anxiety melted away without her even realizing it. And then she would look back and say, you know what? She would say to me, used to get so fearful about this, and now I'm doing this all the time and I'm not worried.
That's amazing.
So, you know.
So you would recommend BrainCore to others?
I would highly recommend BrainCore to, and again, I can only speak to the anxiety that my daughter had. And, you know, teenagers go through a lot of different things, especially once they hit 13, females, hormones, and you have to kind of differentiate between, is this normal teenage behavior, or is this something else?
Right.
And it, you know, it was definitely something else,
and luckily, you know, what we do is we do the QEEG, the brain map. So if we're
right.
not sure, is this just typical behavior,
Right.
or is this actually neurological dysregulation
Right.
that's associated with anxiety? And
Right.
that's what your daughter had, is we had that imbalance on her brain map that was
Right.
an objective finding, that when I looked at the map, I was able to say that will cause anxiety.
Right.
So once that normalized is really when she started getting all the results.
Right. Like I said, it was
So-
about the 6th visit,
Mhm.
but then as we just went on, you know, she's more social, she's more talkative, she's enjoying things more. Something that always would make her a little nervous is gym, because when you're anxious, the last thing you want to do is run around, have your heart rate go
Even
up,
faster.
beating faster. That makes you nervous, because
Right.
now that feels like you're having anxiety. So now she loves gym, she's playing basketball,
And she's,
social, going out more.
so that ripple effect that you had seen, you're seeing in many areas that this is
Many of
life.
the eating,
Right.
you know, usually anxious, especially with the anxiety she had, afraid of getting sick. So if I feel like I might throw up, I'm worried about getting sick, so let me not eat.
Right.
Because if I don't eat, I don't throw up.
Mm.
Which is not true,
Right.
but again, something that would be fearful for her.
Right.
Going out to a restaurant, it just rippled out, and you feel bad as a parent, because now your child is kind of in the house, not being social, kind of in a shell.
Right.
And she was a little bit of a shy kid to begin with, but this made her even more, you know, in a shell.
Okay.
So we can just see my husband and I both can see a complete, I'm going to say 100% improvement. She says to me, I have no anxiety.
I love that.
Now she's on medication, but we've been able to lower her quite a bit.
That's great. And she had been on it the whole time, so
she's been on it the whole time, you know, with school and everything, and what she went through. I don't want to take her off the medication, but it's always good to kind of lower them.
Absolutely. You know, there's a time and a place for everything, and if we can get her to a point where, you know, she can take the medication still and feel great with the neurofeedback as the complement,
Right.
That's excellent.
It's just, I would recommend it to anybody who would ever want to talk to me about it. If you ever wanted to have anybody speak to me about it, I would.
Well, thank you.
Definitely. I've recommended many people to come here. It's just a game changer.
Great.
Really.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me today.
No problem.
I appreciate it, because really getting the word out from other families
Right.
who've been there, done that, is just such
Right.
a powerful message. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for tuning in.